Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. This is another fixture in our Sunday Minisode series where I talk to you about your ghost stories. For this Minisode, I spoke to Matt and Chad from Portland, Oregon about a couple stories, including a ghost story from childhood and a particularly creepy experience they had together while on tour. Here's the call. I hope you love it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey!
Hi. Is this Matt and Chad?
Yeah, there's a
How are you guys
Good morning.
doing? Good morning.
Good.
Okay, I have really good news. I figured out the
Did you
ghost
recover?
story calls.
Wait, what? Did you recover the recording from last week? Is that what you mean?
No, it's not that good of news. But I did figure out how to record these. I did figure out how to record these calls.
Oh,
so
good.
we did it.
Good.
So for
Excellent.
listeners,
Hooray.
we have already recorded this entire ghost story call. And then, good news, it got lost. But now we're starting over. And I actually... Yeah. Usually for these ghost story calls, I haven't heard the stories yet. But this one I've heard. So we have one ghost story and one just significantly creepy story,
Weird.
correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unless something happened in between last week and this week. I don't know.
I think so. No. Remarkable. No,
I would
not that
imagine
yet.
a paranormal experience would stand out.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So where should we start? Did we start with the creepy story first?
Well, yeah, I kind of feel like, yes, because Matt's story, his personal story, is a little more on point with what the podcast is about.
Yeah, the first one is just like a weird, creepy, weird story.
Yeah. So we were in a band together. I'm Chad. I'm a drummer.
Oh, yeah, who are you?
I'm Chad.
Oh, you just said that.
Yeah, that's Matt.
I'm Matt.
He was the bass player for
Yeah.
the rhythm section of a band that's no longer around.
And we played together in the band for, what, a couple years?
Yeah, a few years.
And what kind of music was it again?
Like real heavy psych, kind of doom.
Yeah, doom
Awesome.
metal. So, I mean, it's one of those things that's, it's like a sub-genre. It's like a doom sludge.
Tech step.
And in some ways it kind of like attracts maybe these creepier experiences. I don't know.
I think that's not untrue. Actually,
Yeah,
that's a good point.
pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah, I would say that's really accurate. A lot of the shows we play that were definitely like kind of off the beaten path or kind of like a weird circumstance in general.
Yes.
Well, it's definitely like a niche genre for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a place that was nice enough to put us up, and it ended up being, after a show, in Salt Lake City, no less. And it ended up being a huge DMT party.
Whoa.
And we were like, they're like, hey, do you want to join us? And then I remember just like,
It's like 4 o'clock. We got to play a show tomorrow. I got to go to.
yeah, we're leaving in like 4 hours. Yeah.
LA. Yeah.
So
Oh my
I
God.
think, ended up kind of barricading ourselves in a room because at some point somebody was like, well, that's like it's a DMT, but if you can get crack too, that would be awesome. And we were like, oh, we're just going to go in this little like closety like TV room thing and just like shut the door and it was fine.
It's pretty common for the three of us to like lock ourselves inside.
Well, wait. I mean, okay,
Sorry.
wait. Two things. First of all,
Mhm.
isn't DMT something that you're supposed to do like alone? Like it's an experience?
Man,
That's a good question.
I guess to each their own.
Yeah, I guess
but
so.
It's not something that I would.
But like a
want- it's not something I
DMT
would want to
party.
do, like, yeah, no.
I mean,
And these are like, and that's the thing. These are like gnarly doom dudes, like
Yeah.
scary,
Yeah, missing
Like-
teeth and yeah,
Hesher, fucking, battle vest,
yeah.
just smoking DMT,
I
hanging
thought-
out in some.
'cause- I mean, I've never done DMT, but I thought it was one of those trips where you're like basically on your own,
think it
like
might-
you're in a whole nother world.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
very quick.
you're right.
It's
You're right.
over in
Yeah,
like
like 25 minutes or something. Yeah. But you're right,
Ayahuasca, though, is
Yeah.
very different, which is,
Yeah, right. It's like a
different.
16 hours or
Wow,
something.
horse of a different color.
Yeah.
But I mean,
feel
they're
like
kind of
stepping over
similar
all
in
their
that it's
bodies.
like, I think it's like DMT. It only lasts like 20 minutes, but you feel like it was a lifetime. And
Yeah.
and then that mixed with
that's-
crack, like what was this just like what someone had? It's just like a
delivered
grab
like
bag.
that. No, that's the thing. So like bars close early in Salt Lake apparently.
Yeah.
You can't get liquor and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's this like underground of cab drivers that have whatever you need. So you just if you know the right people, you call them, and it's everything from like porno bags to fucking microwave burritos, liquor to whatever you want. It's the weirdest shit. But I felt like,
well, I think denying people, you know, certain things sort of led to like this situation where it's like, look, I need crack. Or it's like, if they could have gone to the bar and had like another shot of Jim Beam, that might have been fine.
Yeah.
They're like, if I
but I
can't
do
get
remember
another shot of
stepping over.
tequila, I just at least want to do some crack.
That's right. Yeah, what do you got? I have crack. Okay, I guess they'll have.
I mean, it's only 4 a.m. The night is young. That's awesome.
New day.
It's a new day.
But that was not the first time.
Right. But yeah, so we played a show up in the Olympic Peninsula.
Which, for folks who don't know where that is.
Port Angeles.
Which, for folks who don't know where that is.
Washington.
Okay, shut up.
It's Squatchlandia. I would say.
Yeah,
So
Washington Coast.
So we played a show at this little bar there with some local bands. Pretty good time, interesting experience.
Mm-hmm.
Only one dick came out during
Only
the
one.
show.
Pretty good.
The crowd.
Yeah.
Nice. Those are
During
good numbers.
During not our set. Yeah. Kept it low.
So
The cops did have to come out for that situation, I think. But it broke up fairly quickly. Yeah.
So the woman that ran the bar, the promoter of the shows and stuff, told us that we could crash at her place after the show if we didn't have anywhere to stay.
We did not.
Because we did not. So.
So you met her
she closed
that
up the
night?
bar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
She
didn't
was a
know
friend
that before. I thought it was like a friend of a friend.
Yes.
She was.
We met her through one of the other bands that was playing locally.
Oh my God. Okay.
And instead of staying with that band locally like we had done in the past, the guy was like, "Hey, here's this person.
Oh,
She'll hopefully help you find a place."
but we didn't mention last time, so it's good we get to mention this. The friend who hooked us up with his friend, the person we've been staying with, he said it's probably not a great idea to stay at his house because he actually did have a guy with schizophrenia living in his garage.
Yeah,
What?
we found just wandering around.
And
Yeah,
during the
he
day, he
took
was
him in.
more or less okay, but it was probably not a great idea to stay there.
Living in his
so during that
garage.
Strange time. Yeah, literally living in his garage. And the guy was a giant, and I'm not exaggerating.
Like 6'4".
He was like Ben Kissel.
Yeah, he was
Like a big man.
brawny
Dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Scary.
So we didn't stay there.
Yeah.
We stayed at the place that was offered to us as an alternative. And the thing is, so she had to close up the bar, and she's like, "Hey, we're gonna have you guys follow my door guy, the bouncer, the door guy from the bar. We're gonna have you follow him out to the place, kind of outside town, but it's not too far."
Yeah, she said it was just a little outside of town.
So we follow the dude out there. We get there. We hang out for like half an hour,
Well, and
just sitting on the property, and it's like a compound. The place is gigantic.
the drive, though. Remember the drive?
Yeah, just out in the middle of nowhere.
We were driving. It was long enough that we were like, "Is this okay?" Do you think?
Are we going to a second location right now?
Yeah, he
I
just
feel like we're going, and you're
the,
not supposed to go to a second location.
That's right. Yeah. You're never supposed to go to a
Yeah.
second location.
Yeah. But we voluntarily did it. We're like, heck yes, we'll go sleep at your second
You're like, this
location.
is a
I will
scenic
sleep in a
drive.
for 4
Everything
hours.
feels great.
Go ahead and take all of our gear, stash
Yeah.
our bodies in
I would never do it now.
the sound.
Yeah, totally. I would never, ever. But yeah, so it took us long enough that we were, during the trip, we were like, this seems like it's taking a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Bananas.
But then as Chad was saying, yeah, then we got there, we just sat around for a while.
Yeah, with the door guy. With the security guy. Not a security guy, but just like this 20 young guy that was like running the door, checking IDs at the
And like,
bar.
how did he
Hung out with him
feel? Was
until-
he cool or did he seem kind of weird too?
He was okay. I mean, there wasn't anything
No, he's okay.
Yeah.
remarkable about the guy or anything. You know, he's just a nice dude or whatever.
He's a
But he's
nice guy.
just chit-chatting us up about the tour on the road. Just,
Yeah.
So where are you going after this?
Yeah.
Where are you playing next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you going to the, just
How long
the-
have you guys
the
been
standard
doing
five
this?
questions.
Small talk.
You know, my friend has a band.
Yeah. So she eventually shows up, lets us all in because dude didn't have a key. That was the other thing. We're all just like hanging out on the back porch in the driveway.
Oh yeah,
it's a little weird. But anyway, yeah,
kind of strange. So eventually she goes in, unlocks everything, comes around, lets us in, and then she starts kind of showing us around, offering us the different options for sleeping.
Right. That's right.
And in the living room, off in one corner, there was kind of like a monitoring station.
Yeah.
Where you could view all of the security cameras that were posted inside the house. There was like a bay of TVs where you could watch.
Yeah.
Of black and white security monitors. So not like your regular, TV, but they were all like the black and white, like low resolution.
Like Paul Blart's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Just weirdest shit. I don't know. I feel like maybe she got there before, like went in and unlocked and turned on the cameras before.
Or maybe they're always on.
That's a good point.
And they only showed, obviously, images from around this weird house that she stayed in. So all the security cameras were covering
the bedroom, the kitchen.
And the hypocrisy would be awesome because nobody could get anywhere near the house without you seeing them on camera, like a horror movie like Vacancy or The First Purge or whatever. Like, you would literally see people coming up to your house.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And they were bright. You could, when she was like, "You can sleep by that," I was like, "You can sleep by that." It's so bright.
It felt like, it felt like like it could have taken place in the same community that Get Out took place.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Like secluded with a lot of money,
yeah.
Because was it a nice house?
Like a Coastie Cartel. Oh, Coastie Cartel.
Wait, what? Sorry, what did you say?
I said, was it like a mansion? Was it like a nice house you were in?
God, it was probably, I wouldn't say it was a mansion. It was like a mid-century ranch.
Yeah.
Probably 4 or 5 bedrooms, couple baths.
Good size, though. Yeah, for sure good size.
Probably on an acre.
It seems like most of the money went into the security camera stuff, which itself is kind of weird. Because, you could see if it was like a mansion,
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything that was in it, all the furniture and stuff was all very old. Like, it belonged to an older person.
Definitely. It did not look like a young person was there. And how old was the bartender? Was she?
I'd say maybe mid-40s top.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking like 40.
Yeah, she's not much older than us.
Yeah.
But the story that she gave us is that she was taking care of the property in the house while her grandma and her mom went on a year-long vacation.
Yeah, like a trip around the world that was going to take them a year to get around the world. So we did the math because we were like, well, if you're like 40 and let's say your mom's like 60, that means your grandma's like 80? That's not a thing. 80-year-olds do not do a trip around the world.
I mean, my Aunt Lena did jazzercise till she was 100.
Wow, okay.
But that's very different.
But did she do it around the world?
No, she did it in rural Kansas.
Well, see, that's so much different.
Very different. Very different.
I mean, if she jazzercised her way around the globe, that would be a little... I mean, not to talk shit about your grandma.
So then,
oh no, I do all the time. Before you called, I was talking so much shit. I was weeping. I know. That's why I thought it.
It's very. So the master bedroom, which we all declined to sleep in, had the remnants of the bed. It was like the frame and all the stuff that you would keep under the bed, like wrapping paper and boxes.
Yeah, like a bag,
presents, shit like that. But there was no box spring, no mattress. Like maybe that's where that person had died and they had to just get rid of the entire thing.
Well, blood is so hard to get out of a mattress.
It is hard.
That's accurate. Yeah. From what I've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know personally,
right.
but
I would speculate.
Read a lot of truth. But then, all the pictures and stuff, there were no pictures of any, of her at all. It just kind of seemed like maybe she had just taken over this house.
But dude, there were so many pictures in that house. I mean, it was like a crazy, like an older person. It's like an older person lived there that had generations and generations of 3 kids and then all their kids and their grandkids. It was I've never been in a house with that many family photos throughout the house. It almost felt like it was a little OCD. Over 50, probably under 100, but in that range of photos.
Wow.
And I don't know whose family this was, But this friend of a friend that, let us in there was not in a single family photo.
Yeah.
Not a single one for it to be her mom and grandma.
Yeah.
Did you guys, did you individually notice this, or did you point it out to each other?
These were all things that, the security cameras, Matt and I noticed, immediately. We're like, hey, that's something to definitely read.
Right. Mental note.
And it was and in my mind, I'm thinking, is it better to all lock ourselves in this one bedroom together?
Well, you claimed the bedroom.
Well, yeah.
You're like, first of all, dibs.
There was one bedroom that actually had a bed. Yeah.
Right.
Where's the dog? I need the dog. Yeah. I was trying to figure out if it was easier to try and sneak out altogether and run away in the middle of the night and just sleep in the woods, or if it was better to just lock ourselves in the bedroom and hope for the best.
Which is what we did. Yeah. Because the other guy in the band and I were the other guy was like, I guess we'll sleep in the living room. And I was like, I'm literally not sleeping in the living room. You do what you need to do. I will be in that little room barricaded with Chad. And he was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll go there. And so it was a small room that had just enough room for the bed, which Chad unselfishly took for himself. Thank you, Chad, for taking that bullet. And then so I was at basically the bottom of the bed, and the other guy was alongside the bed, between the bed and the door. So if somebody tried to open the door, they would have whacked the other guy when they tried to push the door in. And there was one photo of her in the house that we did find, to be fair, of the friend of a friend, and it was a single photo. It looked like it was printed off like a dot matrix print.
Like a what?
It was the lowest rent. Yeah, it was the lowest rent, on a piece of regular white paper photo, not on
photo
the
paper. Ink was running out halfway through printing it.
Yeah, it's mostly brown.
There's some purple and blue lines just through it, and you're like,
yeah, that's it.
It says test print.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it was a MySpace selfie.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's her in a bathroom.
But definitely. Oh, Lord. In 1997.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a picture that was on the internet. It was when she had to scan and reprint.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, so that was
bizarre.
So weird.
Maybe she just made that old lady her grandma and made her here and
we had to for sure.
Maybe it's the last people that stayed there were like, you're not in any of these pictures, and she was like, good idea. And then
noted.
Yeah. Well, because we sat in the room essentially, and I think the other guy in the band at that time kind of maybe just crashed out and he was okay with it. But you and I talked about various theories because it's our interest, and so I think what was the theory that basically maybe somebody kills the owner, throws away the mattress, and then she just assumes the location.
Yeah, and then where did she sleep, I wonder? Because the master bedroom...
She said she was going to go sleep somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you say they, left? They went out to, party.
Yeah, I did
that's right.
I had a shot of alcohol with them.
Oh, yeah.
And then locked myself in the bedroom with my bandmates, and they left. I forgot about that.
That would be a shot. And I was like, no. I was like Jerry Seinfeld when he got the pizza. And I was like, no. I'm not eating that roofie-teeny. Yeah. So that was our adventure up to Port Angeles. That was our stay at the murder house.
The murder house.
At the yeah. I wonder, have you ever looked back into it? I wonder if there was a murder that was... no. You were like, no, we're done.
That idea, though. No, I thought you meant as far as playing there again, because I will not...
Have you ever just tried to stay there again?
We had such a good time out of here.
Hey, remember us?
Hey.
Remember you.
Hey, bud.
I took a picture.
I
have a GOD. I bet we could drop a pin somewhere and find out where that was and how they were talking about it. And
more research will be done.
Yeah, we'll have to get back to you.
Oh my God, that'd be really because what if you found out oh yeah, it was this whole deal and someone was murdered in that house? Maybe it's haunted. Maybe I can go with a comedian.
Oh God,
that would be actually really cool.
Yeah, from Seattle. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll give you production notes later.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Because wouldn't it, I won't be so arrogant to think that this person's going to actually listen to my show, but it would be really crazy to think if someone heard this episode and was like, oh no, I know exactly what they're talking about and this is what happened. That would be so cool.
That'd be so cool.
Nuts.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah. So listeners, if you know anything, please give us a call. Email us.
We will.
Great.
Oh, Matt's got a story.
Oh, yeah, but that's right.
Matt's got his own.
I do have my own ghost story, which is from when I was a kid. And I will say that I grew up, and I remember we talked about this last time, I grew up in a sort of religious household. So
pretty standard Illinois situation.
Yeah, so in Illinois, just outside Chicago, and it was definitely, go to church once a week. And so ghosts were not necessarily on the agenda with my parents. That wasn't something that we thought about. It wasn't something
what type of religion?
Lutheran.
Lutheran. Oh, okay.
So what is that? Protestant? I guess. Yeah.
It is the Protestant.
Yeah.
The Protestant.
Yeah. Well, I was just on another friend's podcast, a horror movie podcast, and we were talking about satanic movies, and they sort of said, what got you into this? And I was like, well, the kid, it sounded fucking metal as hell, man.
Yeah.
We were talking about it.
The Bible.
At church. Yeah.
The Book of Revelation.
But so this was not on our agenda at all when we were kids, and it was never brought up. And so this isn't really something like that I would have expected to happen, because it's like I would have not believed in it. And as a quick addendum, my mom, who of course is the same way, when she was older, like maybe mid 60s, she was staying in London, and the place where she was staying in, she had a ghost experience of her own where basically it felt like, and this is going to be very similar actually what I'm going to talk about, all the air sucked out of the room. Mm-hmm. She started to feel very warm and alone, and then her door opened. And it was with my brother was and his family. So my brother's married, got 3 daughters, and they were staying outside of London. My mom was in a guest bedroom, and the door started to open, and she thought it was one of the kids popping in, because the kids were I think 5 or 6 at the time. And they might do that. They might pop in and say, "Hey, Grandma, can I sleep with you tonight?"
Yeah.
And so she thought that was the case. No one came in, but she did feel a hand or something like a hand
with the grabbing
rub along her legs. Not in an evil way. It didn't make her feel scared.
Yeah.
But it definitely, she felt like actual physical presence. And then all of a sudden the hand stopped touching, and, all the air came back into the room, and it was less warm, and it was fine. So this actually happened to her too later, which is interesting. But
oh my God. Well, and the weird thing about that though, is that she felt warm. Because people always say there was this unexpected chill. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, and she definitely got warm. Like, she absolutely felt like the room got, not like unpleasantly so, but like it definitely felt warm. And who knows if that was part of the rumor, that was like her adrenaline, just because it was a scary thing.
Well,
she got really into ghosts after that.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, I mean, maybe it was like a loved one that died, if it was, a comforting feeling or something, but still.
That could be. That totally could be. And I mean, it was a really old flat in London. So, I mean, it was a place where people had lived probably for at least a century, maybe centuries. So it was
eons of death.
Many people probably lived there. They're probably like, "What are you doing in my bed? Push, push."
Yeah, but to gently glide your hand down someone's leg, unless that's like a loved one who died, like maybe a parent or something that's like, it's okay.
Yeah, totally.
Anyone else, that's creepy. I don't care if the intention was, not sinister. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, maybe the ghost is like a 14-year-old boy on 4chan.
He's like, ooh.
Hello, my lady.
Hello. Is it hot in here, or is it just you?
It's just you. Mind if I take your shirt off?
Nope, I'll see myself out. Here's the air back in the room.
Now my pants are chasing me. Yeah, totally. So mine includes physical contact as well, but I don't think it was a 4chan aficionado. So me, it's 1977. I'm about 6 years old. And I'm living in an old, decrepit duplex. I think I mentioned this last time. It was super crazy small. We were not well off at all. And it was a very, very low rent, duplex. I don't remember who our neighbors were. I'm sure they were fine, but it was very, very small. It was like a regular sized house that somebody split into two. So it was really small. And I had to share a tiny bedroom with my brother. So his bed was maybe like 4, I don't think any more than 4 or 5 feet away from my bed, which is super close. Right. I mean, you're a kid.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah. And I will say as an aside, a few years later, when I was about 8, my brother would have been like 12 at that time. My parents made a whole big deal about moving me into my own bedroom, which, to be fair, they crafted out of the small hallway closet. Like, they were able to fit like a single tiny kid bed in there. And they're like, oh, you're a big boy. You should have your own space.
Yeah.
I suspect it's because they either caught or knew my brother was probably a sort of masturbatorily friendly age of
exploring
12, 13,
himself.
And they wanted to get me out of that room.
Yeah. I got to spare one of them. I got to save one of these.
Yeah,
This is the closet. Sarah.
But back to that night, still in the same, sharing the same room. My brother, I do remember, was snoring. Like that, I totally remember. And then suddenly, very similar to my mom's story, I feel like just something changed in the room. I don't remember it being warm, to be fair. Like that was not my experience. But I definitely felt like all the air went out of the room. Like it was just, and all of a sudden I got really, it sucked totally. I got really, really scared. And I looked to the door to our bedroom, which was always open. No masturbating. So it was always open. And I saw nothing, but I felt like just some weird presence. And I don't know what it was or why it was, but I just freaked the fuck out, and I don't even know why, to be honest. I just got like really massive fear, massive anxiety. And normally, as a kid that age, and I had done that at that point, up until that point, like I would have gone to my parents' room and been like, hey, I'm kind of freaked out right now. What are we doing in here? What's happening in this situation?
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Hey, gang, we sleeping already, or what are we?
What are we doing, gang?
Feel like. Instead of that, which would have been my normal go-to as a brave, 17-year-old boy, as a brave little kid, I was like, I felt like I couldn't get up. I wasn't paralyzed though. It wasn't like sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Because I could move. But I just felt like if I got up, I knew for a fact I could not get close to our bedroom door to go to my parents' room, or something bad would happen. I can't like articulate why I felt that, but I was like, I cannot go past the door. That's not happening.
Yeah. So
at that age, the only sort of defense you have is, of course, your blanket. So you pull the blankets over the head.
We'll be up, dog. We'll be up.
So I pulled the blankets over my head, but they only really covered to my forehead because, again, we didn't have like fancy blankets that cover your whole head. They only covered like up to basically like mid-forehead. So the top of my head, my hair was sticking out. And just because my hair's not as thick as it used to be, I just like to give a shout out to my 7-year-old hair, 6-year-old hair back then. It was a little David Cassidy-ish because we're talking the 70s and nice feathered on the side. So
I think I love you.
Oh, don't be. I think so. That's the funny thing that like I had like a big, nice little kid, like 70s, head of hair, and so it was a lot to stick out. And so it was definitely like, and this is going to come into play in the story, but it was definitely like there's lots of grab. So I laid there under the blanket. I'm still as possible. And kind of in the quiet moment, I'm really scared, but then I was thinking, well, you know what? Maybe there's nothing wrong, or maybe I'm just having a panic attack. And then something grabbed my fucking hair. Like an actual hand, not like the wind blowing it, like a hand literally grabbed my luscious David Cassidy hair and squeezed it. I literally felt it. Now I think
molecular jerk.
It was a molecular jerk. This ghost is a jerk. It wasn't in a hateful way. Like it wasn't. I didn't feel like like grabbing my head and like banging it around. Yeah. But it wasn't like it wasn't kind and gentle either. It wasn't like chill like my mom came in like rubbed my head. I mean, it was definitely not like.
It definitely wasn't your brother.
Well, so that's a good question. So at the time, once for whatever reason it stopped touching me. The hand, it was like the air suddenly came right back into the room. Everything was back in the room, and I got really angry, like incredibly angry. And I was also completely free to move any way I wanted at that point. And so at this point,
because you kind of knew the thing was gone, basically.
I think so. I intimated it, or it was maybe just like the environment changed, or the adrenaline. Oh, maybe the adrenaline.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Motherfucker name. Yeah, maybe it's just a drama. But I was immediately angry, and I thought, maybe it's my brother. So from the moment of the hand not grabbing my head to me pushing the blanket down, it felt like maybe like a second. Maybe like no more than like, there's no way I could have counted to 2 in that time frame.
Yeah.
So I look over to my brother's bed, who is right across the way, just a couple feet away, and he's under the covers. He's not moving, and he's still sleeping. But so the question, maybe did he jump back into bed and fake sleep? Totally possible. Except his bed, like mine at the time, there were these creaky metal spring 70s beds. And if he would have jumped back into bed, I would have definitely heard it. Yeah. I'm sitting on a squeaky chair, right now. I would have definitely heard him jump into the bed because it would have had like those metal springs, that like. You can hear it. You totally
and then
hear
they have like a residual. Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. They would have been swaying and bouncing from him jumping back into the bed because it was not like there's no memory foam and where we were growing up. So there's no way it was him. And I know just because the fact is there's no way in that 1 second he could have gotten to bed, pulled the sheets over, not made any noise, and not had our creaky metal, old-timey springs, bouncing up and down.
Huh.
So whatever grabbed me was not him, and it was nobody else in the house because my parents were
and
doing whatever they were
like
doing. And
the hand that was like gripping your hair, it was holding you for an extended period of time, like a second. You said it's not like it just grabbed it quick and let go.
It was probably like a second, like long enough that it wasn't just like, a quick grab and let go. It was like, it grabbed I'm grabbing my hair right now, thinking about it, and it's creeping me out. It grabbed my hair and it was like, okay, I'm holding it and now stop. So probably that long.
Yeah.
Like long enough for me to go, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Long enough to leave an impression. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And to have a thought about it while it's, yeah. And it was weird too that I got angry because up until that point I was just scared. And in fact, I literally went from like scared to flight to fight. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I went from the one to the other within like the second or so that the hand touched me, and then as soon as the hand let go, and I all of a sudden felt like I could move. Then I was just angry.
Well, and it's almost like if you said you felt like you could move, it's almost like you felt empowered again, and maybe your response, was the fight or flight. And you felt like, okay, now I'm not afraid of you, but I'm also filled with adrenaline. So yeah, that definitely could have been why you were angry. I know before we talked about like maybe you had a transfer of an emotion from the spirit that like you suddenly felt anger.
Picked up some weird shit from whatever was happening.
Well, because that hand was, like I said, I didn't feel like it was like malicious necessarily, but I definitely felt like it wasn't super kind either. And that would make sense if that hand was angry and there was sort of a transfer of energy from.
You're not a fight guy. You're not an aggressive dude.
Well, that's not true. Obviously people can't see me on your show, but I'm doing so now with Chad on my back, which
put your shirt on.
All right. Puts on gold gym shirt. I'm not that way at all. Yeah, personality-wise, I am no way that kind of person. That's
never not a fighter.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, that when you have felt fear in other instances of your life, you didn't go straight to anger.
Oh, you know what? That's a super good point. No, I don't typically do that. Like when something gets seems scary, or if I get anxiety or something.
Or even when you get mad, you don't like.
No. I don't have that response.
Like I've seen you mad, and it's like,
oh. You're one of the quiet mad ones.
Oh, you're back. Oh, that. Okay.
I see it internally.
Okay. When you say it.
Is this what we're doing? Okay, this is fine. It's not how I would do it, but that's fine. Yeah. No, I'm definitely not like
very
that kind
Pacific
of personality.
Northwest.
I'm very,
Even though you're from where, Illinois?
I'm from Illinois, so that's true. Yeah, and at 18, I went to college in California and then lived in a bunch of different places. I've never gone back to Illinois since.
Yeah.
But Chicago would be like an angrier place. So a ghost in Chicago, very cool. Totally angry. A ghost. Chicago ghosts have to be angry.
Well, Chicago, that's like where H.H. Holmes was. There's some.
Yeah. That's right.
Although.
Just up the street from Milwaukee, and Milwaukee. Oh, baby.
That's where I first got drunk as a kid.
The Dahmer.
It all makes sense now.
Drunk pills. It was something. I don't remember when the cops took me away.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing is, I will say, I mentioned this the other time we chatted, is I did get a visual in mind when the hand grabbed me, and this doesn't necessarily make sense.
Okay.
But the 70s, there was a Bigfoot was a big thing, like weird strangeness magazines, at the supermarket.
High Strangeness, thank you. High Strangeness magazines were like a pretty popular thing. The Bermuda Triangle, In Search Of. And I don't know why I thought of this, but in my brain at the time, and I will, excuse me, I will always remember this was really weird. I thought about a vampire. And
right.
And like a classic, like Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee Hammer films kind of vampire. That's what the image was in my mind when this hand touched me. And I didn't see it. I mean, because my face was covered.
Yeah.
But I definitely saw actually probably less Bela Lugosi, more like Christopher Lee now as I'm older. It was like that sort of, I'm in a tuxedo, I've got, shoe polish black hair, and I am a vampire. Yeah, Widow's Peak, vampire. I liked all those things with regards to Bigfoot and Bermuda Triangle and vampire and whatever. But I don't know why I thought a vampire in that moment. And, maybe it's not literal. Maybe it's something my brain couldn't process. Maybe I did see something through the sheet, but it's sort of that burning bush experience, where you're like, I don't know what I'm seeing and I can't process it. So my brain is going to protect itself and say, well, you're seeing this, even though that's not really what, you're seeing, sort of Lovecraftian cosmic nightmare, but it's really...
It's like your little kid brain was trying to fit it into a paradigm that it understood.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so maybe that has something to do with it, but I will say that was a very vivid image that I have to this day of that vampire image, I guess, when whatever that was touched me.
Thanks so much for your call, guys. It was so much fun talking to you. Twice. You guys are great. Thanks for being so flexible and awesome. Do you have a ghost story that you want to tell on Laughing in the Dark? Email us at litdarkpodcast@gmail.com or write to us in our Contact Us form on our website, litdarkpodcast.com. We may want to feature you on the show. Thanks so much for listening.
Carnival Studios.